Good morning. I hope that you are doing well, that your family is doing well. Let's take a moment today to daven for those who are not well. Please God to have a very speedy and a complete healing, a refuah shalema. And we should daven to Hashem that no further members of our communities should be affected by the virus. At a time like this, it's so easy to be predisposed to negativity. You know, when you hear what's going on, both in terms of the spread of the virus and in terms of the way that people behave, which might upset you, as well as the financial circumstances that people now found themselves in. So it's very easy to be negative. And maybe some of us are predisposed to negativity under the best circumstances. Some of us have a predisposition to anxiety. Some of us are more inclined to depression. Some of us are just generally pessimistic. You look around and you say, well, look, this is not the first thing that's gone wrong, so to speak, in recent years. There are so many endemic problems in our country, in the world, in political systems, in economic systems, and the list goes on. So what do you do? How do you switch it around? It's all too common for people to say, well, this is me. I don't know what you want from me. This is me. I'm that person. I'm a realist, or maybe a little bit of a pessimist. I'm a person who tends to be a little bit melancholic. I'm a person who tends to be a little bit anxious. And, I go for therapy and perhaps take some medication to assist along the way. But fundamentally, this is just the portion in life that I've been dealt. So just today, somebody showed me a handwritten response from the Rebbe to a psychologist. And the psychologist had asked the Rebbe, how do you deal with people who had serious negative characteristics? And the examples, by the way, included things like people who have anger issues, people who had kleptomania, and various other serious negative traits. How do you deal with that? And the Rebbe's response is incredibly insightful, and I definitely think it's something that we could apply to ourselves generally and specifically under these circumstances. Firstly, we need to know what's right and what's wrong. We need to know that certain behavior is not endorsed by the Torah. So it's all very well for a person to say that they suffer from kleptomania or they have anger issues. They have to deal with it. It's insufficient for a person to shrug their shoulders and say, well, what do you want? This is just me. So by extension, we could say the same thing, that yes, we're all dished a particular element, every single one of us, a particular element within our character that we struggle with and might struggle with for our entire lives. Something that really isn't wholesome. It's just not healthy. We get irritable easily. We're lazy. We're envious of other people, critical, whatever it is. Everybody's got something. So the Rebbe continues in this note to the psychologist. He says, what a person has to remember, and I think that this is what's so relevant for us right now, is that whatever Hashem dishes to us in terms of our personality, our outlook, and our character is always balanced with the potential to overcome that particular challenge. And he goes on to say, that means that if a person has a particularly strong negative trait, that is an indicator that Hashem has blessed them with a particularly strong potential that the average person does not have. So yes, they very well need therapy or perhaps medication in order to assist them in the process. But the outlook and mindset should be, if Hashem has challenged me with this particular trait, that means that He's also given me, and I've got to find it within myself, the strength, the ability, and the wherewithal to overcome it. I think this is incredibly relevant at the moment because we tend to feel more negative under the current circumstances. As Jewish people, we are meant to believe that that means Hashem has given us, our society, our generation, us as individuals, unique potential to be able to rise above the anxiety, depression, and pessimism that seems to have grasped and gripped us right across the board. And that should be quite encouraging for us. We have it in us. Now it's just a matter of working to discover that inner potential. Let's hope that we succeed. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay sane.